War number 6, and you saw it in the title. I'm just gonna get right to the chase. Had I brought a Mega Sentinel instead of Moondragon to this war, I would have saved 4 deaths. We're gonna see exactly why when we get to the fights, but we'll start off here with this Node 1 spot. And I will admit that this fight was kind of BS. Like, you're gonna see Spot's RNG just be absolutely perfect for him. He has a 20% chance to gain a spot when struck, and my first 7 hits, he's already at 5. And I'm like, wow, okay, we're really just gonna be playing that game. And I'm trying to get him to throw a special while he's taunted, except, of course, taunt doesn't work in this game, so, he waits it out, and now I'm like, well, now I need to find a way to get an intercept before he throws an unblockable special one. He still throws an unblockable special one. If I had a Mega Sentinel, I would have had the tracking debuff and the heal block to make this fight a lot easier. And he's at 4 spots once again, and I'm just struggling to get an intercept because he's not really letting me do it. Cade couldn't get it there, and I think I'm going to get a light intercept right there. But I tried dashing back, and I wasn't expecting him to throw it immediately, and I get punched in the face by it. So honestly, that is an avoidable death, but a Mega Sentinel would have made that fight a lot easier. You're gonna see me do pretty well on the second attempt. I'm gonna take him down on the second attempt, and it's gonna go a lot better than the first one. I'm gonna finish with a decent bit of health. We'll take some chip damage, but you're gonna see this fight go a lot better the second time. Entering with 86, I'm gonna finish with pretty close to 86, maybe like 10 or 15% less. We're still fishing for an intercept, and we finally get it, so now the taunt is active. Now I'm ramping Moondragon up. We're gonna throw the SP1, get some of our charges from the channeling. We need him to throw his SP1 while he's taunted, and he just doesn't want to do it. So now I'm like, okay, I gotta find a way to get an intercept before he throws an SP1 again. We're gonna take a combo, because why not? And I'm just praying that he goes into me instead of throws a special attack. And does he? Well, I got the light intercept, so that's what mattered. And I throw the SP2, which does a massive amount of overkill. So all I needed, man, was for him to either throw his specials while the taunt was active, or for me to be able to get an intercept like I did in that second attempt, and we easily solo him. It's unfortunate, but, you know, again, a Mega Sentinel would have made that fight a lot easier because I don't have to worry about hitting into his miss, and I have armors to be a bit more tanky if he throws an SP1. So anyway, next up we have Node 10 Red Skull. I will admit that this is actually the first time I've fought buffed Red Skull, but I read through his abilities before I did it to see if he'd be any different than fighting pre-buff Red Skull with Tigra, and no, it really didn't make a difference. His auto block basically doesn't matter because we're throwing so many unblockable attacks, and even if we push him to SP2, we can neutralize the unstoppable. All we had to do was just watch our Masochism and his unblockable if he ever got it, and then we destroy that fight. So, next up, Quciksilver on Node 19. This has Never Back Down, and Elsa Bloodstone is really good for Quciksilver this meta because once Quciksilver evades, you'll start placing Cold Snaps, which will prevent him from evading ever again. And yeah, so all we need to do here is just get our intercepts. Those are also really easy because if you trigger Elsa's counter evade while the opponent is dashing forward, you will trigger the taunt because it counts as an intercept. You saw right there, I was baiting out an intercept from him, or just trying to get him to dash back so he could dash in and hit into my parry, and then we got that evade for the taunt. I did mess up on the last hit of his SP2, but it's okay, it didn't really take off that much of my health. So, anyway, next up, we're gonna fight Node 28 Photon. This is another Moondragon fight, and I didn't realize how good a Mega Sentinel would be for this fight until literally like 10 minutes ago. This war finished yesterday, I think, and I just had the idea of using a Mega Sentinel for this fight, like, before I started doing this voiceover. And the reason a Mega Sentinel will be so good for this fight is because she's both A, Nullify Immune, B, has a massive amount of energy resistance with her Sig ability, and my Mega Sentinel is Sig 200. And also, I have tracking to prevent the miss, so I can parry freely, and I also have heal block to prevent the node, so I don't have to rely on Moondragon's Despair. So there's so many reasons that a Mega Sentinel is better for this fight than Moondragon. The reason I was using Moondragon is because I was like, okay, I can use my energy vulnerabilities to Despair my way to make her healing irrelevant, And once we get the energy vulnerabilities, we're definitely going to be in good shape. The problem is we're going to die before that happens, because this Photon will literally kill you in one special one if you're not ready for it. So I'm wasting so many potions healing up against this Photon when I probably could have soloed with a Mega Sentinel. And that just sucks, man, because now, finishing this war, I have 0 potions. And that's not good, obviously, for the wars coming after this. So we're going to try to make a better attempt at this fight on the second try. I only recorded 2 attempts. I died 3 times. I ended up soloing her once or not soloing her, but finishing her off when the attack bonus was completely gone. But on the third fight, I actually changed my strategy where I would be pushing her to SP3 and using an indestructible boost. Well, I had an indestructible boost on this whole fight, but I ended up pushing her to SP3 on the attempts that I didn't record. I think I tried to record and either like forgot or something, I don't know. But either way, baiting SP1s is probably not the way to go, which I wish I would have thought about before I did the fight. But honestly, I didn't expect to take so much block damage from the SP1s to where I thought it would be okay still. And yeah, the block damage just was immense and just too much for me to handle. So now I'm just trying to get an intercept for a taunt. Luckily, she did it there and didn't throw her special attack. And this is why I just think this entire crush tactic is so bad, because I took more than 20,000 damage just from blocking one hit on an SP1. It just seems so unfair. Like, I played it perfectly. I had the taunt, I had the steadfast, I had everything I needed to, like, succeed with how the tactic is designed, and I'm still gonna take 20,000 damage from blocking one hit of an SP1. I just don't get it, man. Anyway, next up, like I said, I didn't record the rest of the attempts versus that Photon, but I did get her down after I died 3 times. So, next up is Node 37 thing. This is the biggest thing I've fought on Node 37, however, Tigra still wrecks this guy. The only thing you need to do is bait out his special attacks and keep the neutralize up. The one thing you always need to remember when Tigra-ing thing is that you cannot let the neutralize fall off when he's at 15, because if you do, then you're going to have to hit into the block, because things unstoppable triggers before a neutralize would trigger. So if that neutralize falls off, then you're going to trigger as unstoppable before the neutralize can prevent it. And that's never a problem if you just don't let the neutralize fall off when he's at 15, but it is something you need to be aware of when you fight things with Tigra. But anyway, I fought a thing all 6 wars this season, and Tigra's destroyed them every single time. Like I've said in some of my other war videos, I haven't died with Tigra in multiple seasons now, and we're still keeping that streak alive. I've brought Tigra to every single war this season, and yeah, she's taken a thing every single war this season, so kind of crazy how well she does for that matchup. But anyway, next up we're fighting this Gorr. I did misspace that SP1 counter, but I think that's the only mistake I make this fight. Everything else went pretty well if I remember correctly. I got the spacing right on his other SP1 counters. And my blue sense is almost going to expire, but I'm pretty sure we're going to kill him before that becomes an issue. Yeah, just before the protection comes back, he dies. So that's also like the 4th time I've fought a Gorr with Tigra this season. Thing and Gorr, man, it's just, they're always on my radar apparently for a mini for me to take or on my path. So anyway, next up is Elsa versus this Titania. This fight went really, really well, except for one mistake that nearly killed me. You're going to see it later, but the game plan for this fight is just wait out the Haymaker and use my counter evade to trigger the taunt as much as possible, and then just bait her SP1s. I like Elsa for this fight because if you get a debuff that sticks on you for more than 3 seconds, then you're going to purify it and get a precision, and Elsa loves to crit. It helps her burst damage a lot, so that was definitely nice. We throw the SP2, placed a lot of debuffs, and the fight's going really, really well right now. She has her Haymaker back, so now I'm just trying to bait that out, and now I'm just getting ready to counter evade for another taunt. And the weird thing about this placement is that this is on the node where her special attacks cost twice as little power, meaning they like 50% less. I don't know why I worded it like that. And there's the mistake. I get hit by a 44k crit, and I'm at 3%. So that was almost a disaster, because I didn't have the taunt up at the time. I didn't manage my intercepts very well, but luckily we lived. But anyway, back to the node. The weird thing about this is that, like I said, she has that extra... That dex was really nice, by the way. I'm impressed that I was able to do that. The taunt will bring their power to 0, so it doesn't even matter that her special dex costs half as much power, because the taunt drains her back to 0 power, so it's a weird placement. And also, Titania is immune to buffs, so she can't even gain the vigilance to start placing the falter. So I don't get that placement at all. But then again, it almost killed me because it's just a big Titania. So yeah. Last up is Tigra for a Node 49 Maestro. And this fight I was a little nervous about, because the only time I Tigra'd 49 Maestro was against a rank 4 6-star, and this is a rank 3 7-star. So it's definitely a big difference. But you're gonna see that it didn't matter because of boosted Tigra just being utterly cracked and killing this guy in like 34 seconds. So even though the glancing is up, he's about to die. I could have gotten punched there, but I think I had an indestructible boost. I don't remember what boost I put on, but even if I got punched, I would have soloed the fight. So yeah, we did lose very badly. Our opponents, this is the first time we've seen an alliance do this, but our opponents negated 20 defender diversity to place 20 extra tactic defenders, which I think is actually like a genius strategy. I talked with my ally about doing it ourselves, but we decided that it wasn't worth it. I personally would like to do the extra tactic defender strategy, because obviously it paid off for the alliance we played against, but I guess we just don't like have enough tactic defenders to go around to make it worth it or something. I'm not really sure. But either way, yeah, we died a lot. And we were 7th alliance in the world at the time. They were 6th, and now we are like barely in the top 20 after that loss. But it's okay, because we're 5-1. That's our only loss of the season so far, and we're definitely getting ready to kick butt in War 7 when that comes out tomorrow. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, I will next time bring a Mega Sentinel for those fights that I died with Moondragon for, because that was super stupid of me on how I could have saved so many deaths if I just brought OS. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.